here we go, we're live. How's everyone doing? I'm sorry that the webcam quality is very bad today, unfortunately. I couldn't get my proper webcam working today. In any case, let me know if you can see me fine, if you can hear me okay. We've got a good live stream for you today. Bitcoin is up a little bit. We're on a small rally upwards, and I want to clarify a lot of things with you guys in this live stream today. There's a lot of very, very important things that I think we need to touch on, and I'm realizing more and more that while I personally wasn't hugely invested in emotionally in this drop, a lot of people are, and that is important to know, you know, because if you don't know things like that at a time like this in this market, you're in a pretty dangerous place. So I want to break down a lot of that for you guys. Video and audio all good. Perfect. Here we go. So this is very important because if you're able to be aware of these things and be independent of them in these kind of markets, you're going to be in a very, very strong position to where you can trade it, you can manipulate it, you can pull it to your advantage. And that's what we're going for as traders. As traders, we want to be able to take every little advantage we can and be better than the other guy. And when we're better than the other guy, we're effectively taking his money. That's trading, right? So it's a very brutal game. If that doesn't sit well with you, if you don't like the eat what you kill kind of mentality in life, which means that you're ignoring reality, but if you don't like it, that's cool. This stuff is not for you. So we need to filter out a little bit of the very, very sensitive snowflake people that have been on this channel lately. It happens with growth. We need to filter them out because this is not for you. What we have seen right now, ladies and gents, is a beautiful rally off the bottom of this symmetrical triangle up to this resistance level right here. And the whole point of one of the big ideas I'm going to be talking about in this live stream is that from a technical perspective, because we dropped down so much, from a technical perspective, this chart is in a really, really bad place. You know, there's a lot of resistance that's still overhead, which I'm going to show you with things like the Ichimoku cloud, different things like that. There's a lot of resistance overhead, and because we've now traded sideways for a period of time, and this is a considerable period of time, we've been sideways now for 2 weeks. Because we've traded sideways for 2 weeks, we've given the trend time for those bearish things to catch up, right? So some of these bearish signs have already caught up to the trend, like the Ichimoku cloud. Take a look at this. Some of these bearish signs have already caught up to the trend. Bam, look, it's already offering us resistance. Right now we're trading inside of it, and I'll get to that when I talk about the real TA in just a minute. But some of it has already caught up to the trend. Others have not. If we take a look at this on the daily time frame, we barely have any resistance right now. It's very far away. We look at the EMA ribbon, and it still has not caught up to us. It's dropping every single day, right? Now we're going to find resistance at the $40,000 level on the 1 day time frame with this EMA ribbon. So this resistance is dropping every day, but it hasn't caught up to us yet. By trading sideways, ladies and gents, after such a big drop, you are giving the trend time for these resistance levels to keep catching up, right? This is very, very important, which means, and this is why, you know, it's like, here's a classic really bad analogy. If you're new to the channel, this is what we're all about. I give you bad analogies to describe things with these markets. And a great example is this. If you're taken hostage by a terrorist and you're not released within the first 72 hours, you're probably not going to get released. And that's it's something that I don't even know if it's true, to be honest. I think now that I've said it out loud, I think I heard this from Netflix. But it's one of those things where if something doesn't happen in a short space of time, it's probably not happening. So you know, the example here is a V-shaped correction upwards. If this thing did not manage to turn into a V-shaped correction, which it didn't, we know that. If it didn't manage to turn into a V-shaped correction, it's probably not recovering up. But this was its chance to recover upwards beautifully. And we've done stuff like that. Look, so this drop turned into a V-shaped correction. You know, it could have just stopped right here. This is a big thing, right? We need to keep this in mind. This right here was the beginning of a V-shaped correction. We could have topped out right here and traded much lower. but we didn't. This V-shaped correction continued going upwards, right? So you have a make or break situation at the beginning, and if you don't make it at that point, then you're going to enter a bearish continuation pattern usually after such a big drop. And the only thing that bearish continuation pattern allows you to do is find more resistance. And that's the most important thing, because now that we've dropped by 50%, every indicator flipped bearish, right? This is really important. I got people telling me that like I'm a FUD lord, stuff like that. This is getting a bit ridiculous, because while I'm certainly bearish on the trend, it's because the trend has dropped by 50%. So it's hard to, every indicator is bearish right now. So I'm only telling you what I'm seeing, where because the market has dropped by so much, we only have resistance overhead. And then to make things worse, we just traded sideways in a classic continuation pattern, which is just giving this resistance more and more time to catch up to the trend. And what happens when it catches up to the trend? Well, we've already seen this on a smaller time frame. That was the daily chart. Here's the 4-hour chart. On a slightly smaller time frame, we've seen what happens when the resistance catches up to the trend. It catches up to the trend, bam, we get a rejection, bam, a rejection, bam, rejection. Like right now, we're trading in the resistance range, but this isn't much better because this is a big bloody resistance range. We're not going to be out of it until we hit $44,000, and as soon as we hit these kind of levels, we're meeting one-day EMA resistance. So that's very, very important. I'm just going to go on a small blocking spree to ban everybody who's saying FUD, because this is getting annoying now. In fact, I'm just going to put the whole chat on slow mode. Oh no, slow mode is on. Okay. Wow, imagine that slow mode is on and it's this bad. So so this is that goes to show you how toxic the comments become sometimes. But absolutely, it's clear as day where when the trend when the resistance has a chance to catch up to the trend, it's going to start giving us rejections, right? So that's what these technicals are showing me is going to continue to happen. It's happened on smaller time frames. I expect it to continue to happen on larger time frames as well. And that's very important. We're in this continuation pattern. We're nearly at the apex now, so it's time that we start talking about it very seriously right now. Right there, bam, in the comments. 4Flies tells it as it is. If you don't like it, don't watch. Simple. That's it, right? Like, as a trader, you're gonna have to face uncomfortable truths and realities. I don't know how so many people enter this game of trading and expect it to be like a lottery ticket thing, where you just kind of you throw your money into something, you hold your dick in your hand, to quote one of the guys in the comments, and you just hope that something cool happens and you see it as your lottery ticket and you don't have to work for it. That's not what trading is. So if you're looking for that, you can go to some other Moonboy channel that's going to tell you actually Bitcoin is still super bullish. It's not. Like it's not bullish from a technical perspective. I don't know how you can draw that conclusion. And you can get your ego stroked there, but reality is right here with the 4Flies channel. That's what we're all about. So that's the first big thing I want to make very, very clear to you guys. We're in this pennant right now. This is the time to be talking about it. We're ready to break out, which is actually, this would disprove what I'm saying. We're ready to break out and we're at the top of the range. So usually when we're ready to break out, I would want us to be at the bottom of the range at this time, but we're at the top. So this is actually a good thing for the bulls. But we are ready to break out. We're teasing the top. We usually don't trade up to the apex, so we're right around that breakout point right now. If this thing gets rejected, I'd expect it to fall right through the floor, although right now it's not getting rejected, so we could continue trading higher, and that's very important to keep in mind. The next thing to then consider, though, is that if we do get this breakout, which right now we are inching towards, for sure, if we do get this breakout, what's going to happen next? Are we going to encounter more resistance? And I think we will. I really do think that we will encounter more resistance. Let me see if I can throw on a Fibonacci right here. This is an idea I just had during this live stream, but I haven't done this. So let me see if I can find anything interesting with this. Just this Fibonacci right here. If there's anything particularly interesting. 382 level looks like it might be interesting. Yeah, 382 level is a great reverse. Oh, okay, and it's 38,000. Okay, well, that's no coincidence. So this is an important Fibonacci level. Here's the deal. I think that if Bitcoin is able to recover above 38,000 and then turn this level into support, that's where I get quite bullish and start targeting Bitcoin going higher towards 40,000. The only issue with this is that the more it goes higher, up until about 48,000, there's a lot of resistance. And as soon as you cross 48,000, at 50,000, there's more resistance. So it's not in a good place that way, but short term for sure. If it can reclaim this level as support, that's going to turn into, right now it's resistance. Obviously, we got rejected here. What was it, just yesterday? Right now we're consolidating here, so this is actually a pretty strong indication that it's going to move a little bit higher if we're consolidating at resistance. And you can see we're consolidating because, we're just we're trading sideways, so that's consolidation. So if we're able to rise above here and then fall back down to find some support, that would be pretty damn bullish in my opinion. That would be pretty good. And that's the very, very short terms. That's actually, that looks super likely right now. But if that were to happen, we're going to encounter 236 resistance right here at 40,000. And there's going to be a little bit more right here at 39,000, a little bit more resistance. And then, 42 is the level to beat. 42 right here, bam, this is the level to beat. If we can beat that, while we do have a lot more resistance overhead, I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot if we can beat 42,000, not 4,200. I think that's very, very important to keep in mind right there. I'm sorry, I just need to go ban a few other people who are talking shit in the comments. This is so annoying. I need a proper moderator now. It turns very nasty in bear markets, and I didn't used to do live streams in the previous bear market, so comments weren't really a problem, but it gets annoying sometimes. But yeah, Fibonacci retracement right there, offering some resistance at 38,000. I'm very glad that I took a look at that. 618 retracement actually looks pretty great too, this $35,000 level, so that's cool. But let's take it back to the main Coinbase chart, get back to the main analysis for this one. Yeah, definitely, this is interesting how the triangle looks a little bit different on both charts. But yeah, I think this one, it lines up very, very well. I'm still expecting us to drop down. So, for me, it looks like this. Either we're going to fall right through here, less likely, or we're going to pump up, find some more resistance a little bit higher, and then fall back down. I don't see Bitcoin escaping that right now, though. And the reason I don't see Bitcoin escaping that at the moment is it's got all of that resistance overhead and a lot of very scared people. So, one of the next things that we need to start analyzing is how does the market feel? If the market is feeling very fragile, if the market is, and it is feeling fragile because, it's just crashed 50%, people are very upset, that means that you do have a lot of people that could potentially, quickly sell their crypto, out of panic. What we need to keep in mind is that panic can set into this market really quickly and almost quite unexpectedly. When we were trading around the 58,000 level, things were pretty rosy. I don't think many people could have expected such a strong series of sell-offs, like this one from here, 58,000 all the way down to 45,000, pretty much in, well, this was in the same day, really. You can't really expect that, it happens and it takes you by surprise. And it's an example of how sentiment is very delicate right now. Psychology in this market is very delicate, and it's not like this only happened once, right? It happened again right here. Take a look at this. This was another really big dump from 49,000. It takes us all the way down to 42,000. That's a $7,000 drop. That's a pretty big drop, in such a short space of time. This is people being scared. This is people being scared. So, it's not like that can't repeat again. In fact, usually it does repeat at least once. I can show you another example of that where we had something quite similar back in 2017, 2018. Take a look at this. Many of you will know what this was, at least, where we had the initial very big sell-off, and then the second one was even bigger. Look at that, right? An initial very big sell-off. The second one is much bigger. So we had two, at this point, we had two really, really catastrophic waterfall sell-offs. And then we had the last one. So we had three in total before the market reset and then started trending higher. Right, so this shows you how actually, we're not as protected as we might think we are, and these things can repeat, and most importantly, ladies and gents, they can repeat when it doesn't feel like there's any indication for them to do so. You know, these storms, they attack really quickly. You know, they form very quickly and they attack really quickly. And the reason for that is its psychology. The broader reason is a lot of people bought Bitcoin in the first. Guys, I was saying this way, like, the whole time as we were going up. I was getting so much hate for it. You guys know it's true now. You know, all the way up to 60,000. I was one of the guys that continuously said, people are buying Bitcoin to make money, not because they like Bitcoin. So as soon as your reason to buy Bitcoin, which is making money, starts to evaporate in front of you, and you have no other reason for buying Bitcoin because you don't care about the tech, you didn't read the white paper. Those of you who don't know what a white paper is, it's basically it's the big document that Satoshi, the guy who made Bitcoin, wrote about Bitcoin, basically saying why it's made and how it works and things like that. You know, if you haven't read things like that and you don't really care too much about it, then obviously, you know, you're only buying Bitcoin because you want to make money and you want to play on the speculative you know, field of this market, and that's completely fine. You know, like, that's not a bad thing. It's just that if you're doing that, you better bloody be aware of it. You know, like, you can't you need to know that you're only in it for the money, which is completely fine, but it means that when things get hard, you're not going to have the balls to hold. Why would you? You know, you don't actually believe in the asset. And more importantly than that, not just you, but the rest of the market. You know, if people generally don't believe in this stuff, they're not going to buy it when it's dipping by 50%. You know, the best example of this, honestly, is Doge, you know, because we all know that Doge is a joke, right? We all know that Doge is a waste of time. I'm not sure that, yeah, let's use the USD chart. And this is the wrong chart. Let me look at a different one. This is a great example, actually, Doge against against the dollar. Here, take a look at this. You know, I mean, this will tell you this clear as day, right? Like, people don't want to buy something unless they feel like they can make money most of the time in crypto. So Doge peaks up here at 74 cents. Now it's trading at 39 cents, which is minus 47% from its all-time high. And the reason that this thing, you know, crashes so much, like way harder than Bitcoin crashes, you know, like from high to low, Doge crashed by 70%. You know, the reason that we see assets falling by this much is because as soon as they enter a free fall, nobody wants them anymore. You know, and that's where they're different from things like gold, for example. You know, as soon as it enters a small free fall, it doesn't become a big free fall because people are not scared of selling it, because people actually think that it has intrinsic value. I'm not trying to say that Bitcoin doesn't have intrinsic value. That's a completely separate debate, which I don't even want to touch. But what I am saying is that most people don't think it does. And that matters right now. Because if most people don't think it has intrinsic value, you're going to get these big waterfall sell-offs. And the whole point, circling back to Bitcoin right now, you know, and the reason we get these waterfall sell-offs is because people are scared. They don't want to hold their crypto if they don't feel like they can make money off it, which also means that there's no buyers. So a bad situation gets worse. Now you've got long people, people who are in long positions. They need to close out their long positions by going short, you know, so they're selling more into the market. You know, you're getting a massive waterfall situation getting set up right here, and it doesn't matter what side of that debate you lean on. I'm not going to get involved in it. It's completely unnecessary at this point in this analysis right now, but it is important to understand that this is true. So if it's true, we can still get sell-offs like this. You know, we can still get sell-offs like this, and if we do, we've then got to ask ourselves, well, what's going to happen if one of these sell-offs takes us down to this support level? What's going to happen at this support? Is this support going to hold and send Bitcoin higher? Entirely possible. Or is it going to collapse and send Bitcoin to its next major support level? Very, very possible. Very possible. Because when we get that sell-off, that waterfall sell-off, support levels don't really matter that much. You know, one of the big points that I made during this sell-off, if you were subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will remember. Shout out to those of you who do. Hit up those likes and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I appreciate every single one of you. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. You would have seen my analysis where I was talking to you about how Bitcoin has a very good, predictable habit of hitting a floor once, and where does it really start? I guess it starts up here. Yeah, it hits a floor once, And the next time it hits that same floor, it collapses, right? Let me show this to you. I'm going to show this to you clear as day right now. We hit a floor once right here. The next time we hit it, look, come down here. Next time we hit the same level, we collapse. Then we establish a floor right here. Next time we hit the same level, we do actually make a small rebound, but for the most part, it collapses, right? Again, hit a floor right here. Next time you hit this level, collapse, right? So this is very common. There's one exception here where we hit it the next time we actually set a double bottom. But again, after that, we came back down to the same level. We hit it, we collapsed down. So Bitcoin has a very strong tendency to do this kind of thing. Not only does it have a tendency to do this, it's done it recently. You know, this stuff that I'm showing you, we're only going back about a month. So this is not too far ago. This is not too far long ago. And it's you can see more of it right here. Look, we establish a floor. Next time we hit it, we're down. We establish a floor. Next time we hit it, we're down, right? So this is showing it to you on a smaller kind of time frame. We can zoom out a little bit more, and we can say the same thing right here, that we established a floor. If we hit it again, we might collapse down. You know, it's not like I'm saying something completely unreasonable or realistic or unrealistic right now. You know, this is very, very important to keep in mind. You know, like I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say this will definitely happen, but what I am saying is that recently this has happened a lot, you know, and as a technical analyst, one of the what I found to be one of the most useful tools that I could be using is looking at the tendencies of the market, because that takes a lot of the hard work out of my hands. I no longer need to really predict what's going to happen. I can just look at what the market tends to do, and for the most part, it's going to be right. You know, so that's pretty useful. That means that I don't have to do a lot of work, and I can absolutely focus on you know, risk management and things like that, which are a little bit more important. Someone's asked a really good question. At what level do I get bullish? You know, so here's the thing. It's right now I'll have one answer. In about a month, that answer will change, because it depends on what we do before we reach that level, right? So right now, the level that would make me a little bit more bullish in this market is 42,000. If Bitcoin can somehow rise up to 42,000 and then get above it, I'd be pretty happy with that. That would be pretty good. Now, like I said, we do have a lot more resistance overhead, but whatever, we can ignore that for now. I think if we get above 42, that's going to be great for the trend right now. That would be very, very good. But if we say continue trending down, for example, this is really important, ladies and gents. This is huge. This is a really big part of what, because I've lived through this kind of market cycle back in 2018. I'm guessing a fair few of you guys watching right now have as well. Let me know in the comments if you've been through this in 2018, 2017. I've gone through this, right? So I know what it feels like, and I know what to look for. I played it right back then as well, so hopefully I do it again right now. Played it really well back in 2018. Actually, that was a phenomenal trading record that I had back there. What I'd be looking for is if the market dropped down, for example. I'm running with my worst case scenario. If the market dropped down to 20k right now, for example, then the level to make me bullish would be 30k. If we reclaim 30k as support, I would turn very bullish. Right now, the level to make me bullish is 42k. If we reclaim this as support, I would become very bullish, right? So it depends on where we are. At the moment, we're above 30k. We've already used it as support. That's good. What about resistance at 42? The last time we tried a $42,000 level, we fell all the way down to 31,000. We had an $11,000 sell-off. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty damn big sell-off. That's a minus 30% sell-off, isn't it? Hang on, let me check. Minus 27%. That's a big sell-off. You can't ignore that. That's a big deal. So, you know, it really depends on where the market is. If we end up consolidating a lot, then actually I wouldn't really say that 42k is the level to be, because we've corrected already. You know, we've already corrected from this downtrend by trading sideways, which means that we're ready to now potentially continue our uptrend higher. You know, so it really depends on where the market is, and this is where, you know, you can't really give a black and white answer. If you could, it wouldn't really be technical analysis, in my opinion. It would be more like fortune telling. You know, if it's going to give you an answer that you want to hear, it's probably not true as a trader. You know, like as a trader, as an analyst, these things change continuously, and you need to be able to change with the tides and the flows. Otherwise, you're going to get swept away. You know, that's very important. You need to be able to change quickly. Be very decisive when you change as well. That's quite important. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit about, you know, what's going to make me bullish. But I've outlined for you, yeah, how we've got a little bit of resistance right here, you know, above overhead all the way up to 42 and even beyond. But I'm only concerned about the resistance before 42. And then down below, I wouldn't be surprised if the support level started to crumble. It is good support, don't get me wrong. This is actually the best support that we have below 42K. I think, like, yeah, the best until $20,000. So it's good support. It could certainly work one more time, and that would be phenomenal if it did. That would be very, very fun. But you know, at a time like this, it's difficult. You know, we're too far away. We're $8,000 higher than this support level right now, so it's a little bit too far away to draw full conclusions on that. Let's see what else you guys have in the comments for me. You guys want me to talk about the death cross? I'll talk about that. I'll look at some other altcoins, including Ethereum. Yes, let's see what else we have. All right, and I want to make sure I didn't miss anything as well. 1 second. Yeah, I didn't get the okay. Cool, great content, thank you very much. Death cross. Okay, you guys want me to talk about the death cross. What is the what are the moving averages? Is it like 2050, 2200, 5200? What is it? Because I don't actually know this. Let me, head and shoulders. I'm not looking at the head and shoulders, I'm sorry. I'm not really interested in the head and shoulders. The first level to break? Well, I don't know. Right now we are, I don't know about the first level that's going to break, but right now we're really teasing this resistance right here. And the thing is, previously we got rejected from it, right? We got rejected from this resistance pretty clearly previously. This time we're not getting rejected. We're trading sideways. By this time, previously, we were already down by, you know, like $1,000 when we hit 38K. Now we've spent several hours trading here. This is a strong indication that actually it could take another leg up. But it's at resistance, and there's, you know, a 4-hour Ichimoku cloud overhead. There's a lot that's stopping this trend. You know, that's why, you know, circling back to the beginning of the live stream, if you didn't catch the beginning, that's the most important part of every live stream. So just rewind. I was talking about how resistance catches up to the trend the more we enter patterns like this, which really applies a lot of downward pressure on the market. Now, I'm saying it applies downward pressure. I'm not saying it guarantees a drop, but it applies downward pressure for sure. That's undeniable. We've already gotten rejected by the Ichimoku cloud, big time. You know, like this drop right here, this triggered a 16% drop. You know, so it definitely applies a lot of downward pressure. What we do with that pressure varies. Sometimes we get a small sell-off, sometimes we just trade right into it. You know, it varies. So, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'm 250-day moving average. Let's take a look at that. There's a death cross that you guys want me to take a look at. It's the 250. Okay, so it's this one. Is it this one you guys are talking about? So this is really far away. This thing is not going to cross for quite a while. I don't know how to draw this accurately. I don't think there's such a thing, to be honest. Let me just remove these lines. Yeah, I'm not good at forecasting this stuff, but it's probably going to move a little bit like this if nothing really happens in the market. And that puts our death cross, oh, actually, only in about 15 days. That's pretty soon. So the reason a lot of people want me to look at this is the 200-day and 50-day moving averages are pretty important moving averages in this market. And when you get the short-term moving average, which is the 50-day moving average, falling below the 200-day moving average, that's essentially showing you a flip in momentum. Where, okay, and there's a 21 and 200 as well. That's essentially showing you a flip in momentum, where momentum with this trend now in the short term has become bearish, while the long-term momentum hasn't really caught up. So our objective here is to follow the shorter term indicator because it flips first, so that we're not on the wrong side of things. And this is quite a bearish thing right here. So let's take a look at the 21 as well. And this has already crossed bearish. So this 21-day moving average has crossed bearish yesterday. This is called a death cross. If it happens the opposite way around, where the short-term one actually goes above the long-term one, it's called a golden cross. And that's seen as being quite bullish, very, very healthy for the trend. So right now, you know, we are looking at we are looking at a little bit of a death cross right now. That's undeniable. And it's, here's the thing, you know, there's a lot of indicators that will mark as milestones kind of when we flipped bearish or bullish, right? So one of the biggest ones are death crosses. You know, other ones that I like to use are just falling below levels, you know, like falling below 50k was the big one for me. I said if we fall below 50k, we're going down to 42. You know, these are much easier to predict. With a death cross, you got to watch the moving averages, you got to know what they are. You know, with a horizontal level like 50,000, those of you who've been watching this channel for anything longer than 2 weeks, you will know that I was saying very, very clearly, if we fall below 50, we're probably going down to 42. If we fall below 42, we're probably going down to 30. You know, these are similar forms of analysis where I'm essentially trying to say, look, if we do one thing, it's really, really bad. And that's what the death cross is. So you're going to get a lot of these on different time frames and moving averages, right? So some people have said the 21-day moving average. Other people said 50. One guy is saying it has to be 50. It doesn't actually have to be anything. It can be whatever you like. You know, but essentially what we're trying to show with this indicator is that short-term momentum, short-term strength has dipped significantly compared to the long-term strength. That, at the end of the day, is what this is trying to show us. So that's quite important to keep in mind. You got a lot of different indicators that show you this, but you need to be early. That's the biggest thing. And this is quite important, ladies and gents. You would not be early if you use this death cross. This death cross came in yesterday on the 21-day moving average, and on the 50-day moving average, we don't even have a death cross yet. We'd be looking at getting it in about 15 days. So this would be quite a late take in the market, and that's why I'm always trying to make sure that I'm using levels like these horizontal levels, because these horizontal levels, they put me in a bearish state of mind way before your moving averages would have done that. You know, like I turned bearish at 50k, at 49k effectively. You know, like I said, if we drop below 50, we're probably going down to 42. You know, so that's a big $8,000 gap that I was looking at, and saying that we'd probably drop between. By the way, we had a lot of VIP members that traded those kind of moves. This is not one of them, but here's yet another member who was at a beautiful profit during this crash and mentioned that he was learning a lot through VIP. I've got to actually pull up some new ones because it's been quite a while. But we've had a lot of VIP members during this market ripping absolutely killer profits, just trading the downside, you know. So it's entirely possible to do that. Here's a great example of this exact trade in action. This is a VIP member who traded this on, I think it was the 17th of May, so we're going back about a week and a half, 2 weeks. This person mentioned that he ended up closing over 100% profit trading a short position on Bitcoin from 49,000 down to 43,000. This is effectively the same gap that I was talking about on the YouTube channel a lot before it happened, where I said that if Bitcoin managed to drop below this blue line, it was probably dropping down to the next blue line here. And I drew it, you know, in, actually it's probably still on my Coinbase chart. Let me see. Yeah. So if we drop below this blue box, we're falling down to this yellow line. Yeah, that's exactly what I would have said. You can see how a VIP member traded this gap beautifully. I mean, this is a 100% profit. This is absolutely phenomenal. This is great. $49,000 entry price, $43,000 exit. This person made money, doubled his money. 96% profit would double your money. This person doubled his money just by trading the downside. Ended up closing this at over a 100% profit. Thank you. You are a legend. Experience in VIP has been life-changing so far, to say the least. Still have so much to learn. Really, really glad I decided to join this group. So this person was on the fence a little bit, but then ended up joining and now seeing absolutely killer, beautiful, beautiful profits. So it's been going very, very well. And the whole point is really, you know, as an analyst, you're going to have a lot of tools. You're going to have a lot of tools that will tell you the same thing as an analyst. The thing is, you need to be early. You know, like, so these indicators, these death crosses, they're telling you that this thing is bearish now. They're telling you that this thing is bearish now, when we've already dropped from 65,000 down to 30,000. After this, guys, I can't stress this enough. This is super important. If you're not going to take anything away from this video, at least take this. After Bitcoin went from 65,000 all the way down to 30,000, your main death cross with the 50-day, 200-day moving average still hasn't gone bearish. That's how slow it is. That's how delayed it is. We've already dropped down from 65,000 to 30,000, which is a minus 55% crash. And it still isn't bearish, right? And then with the other moving average that one of you guys asked me to take a look at, the 21-day, I hope I'm showing my chart right now. Yeah, I am. With the 21-day, you know, it's just turned bearish yesterday. So, you know, no matter how you look at it, this thing is super late, right? This thing is super late. Whereas, you know, if you're using other tools that I think are much, you know, they're way simpler to use, just a horizontal level, a box. You know, you can't go wrong with a box. If you fall below the box, you're bearish, right? Like, it's not that complicated. When you look at other signs like that, they can put you in the correct side of the market way faster. And that's where you step into the territory of being a Fourth Flies VIP member, doubling your money on a drop like that. This is not a big drop. This person traded a $6,500 drop. You know, like, during this crash from 65K down to 30K, was a $35,000 crash. Bitcoin crashed down by $35,000. This person only traded $6,500 of that crash and still doubled his money. This is killer. This is huge, right? Not only that, you know, on the way up, this is the thing, like, you know, these indicators, these death crosses, they're going to give you the warnings really late. The 1st of June is when this one was going off. When did I start selling my Bitcoin? I started selling my Bitcoin, what was this? I think this was in February, when Bitcoin was at $51,000 for the first time. So, like, pretty much, yeah, roughly around here is where I started selling my Bitcoin. You know, like, that should put it into perspective for you, where you're going to be late if you're using indicators like this. You need to use different tools that are going to give you the edge on the market a little bit faster, right? You know, you could, you know, this thing could continue trading downwards a lot. You know, certainly some of the technicals suggest that that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be entering a massive bear market, but we are in a bear market. I think it's a small one for sure, but it could be a big one. So, you know, maybe this is a good time to become bearish according to this death cross. But in my opinion, the best time to be bearish is when the price is already, when the price is higher. In my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gents, but I think it's preferable to be bearish before the market drops by 50%. You know, I hope I'm not alone in that opinion. I think it's better to be bearish before you drop down by $50,000, by $35,000. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be bearish down here. I want to be bearish, like, up here. You know, and that's why, once again, clear as day, ladies and gents, I was telling VIP members that I would be selling my Ethereum holdings right up here with all these squiggly arrows. Right up here is where I announced to all VIP members that I would be, with my investment update, that I would be considering selling part or all of my Ethereum holdings back into BTC or possibly even USD. This was the post that I put inside of VIP, where I outlined that previously, a long time ago, this is going back like 9 months ago, I was very, very vocal about how ETH was a major obvious play in the market when it was trading at and below $400. This is 9 months ago. It's now 10 times higher, it was 10 times higher, and it outperformed Bitcoin, which was one of the main predictions that I made. The backbone of my prediction for Ethereum was that it would significantly outperform Bitcoin, and it performed more than twice as well as Bitcoin, which is why, at the top, before your shitty indicators of moving averages or whatever were telling you that this thing is bearish, all I was doing was looking at the exuberance of the market, the psychology of the market, how excited people were, how I was getting calls from my friends telling me I'm an idiot for not gambling on shit coins that have just gone, up with their IDOs or whatever. How these kind of things have happened. I was looking at that and decided, actually, I want to be out of my Ethereum position. So that's why I told VIP members I'd be doing that. Your moving averages cannot give you this insight. You've got to be a little bit better than that. You've got to put in a little bit more effort than just looking at a death cross, different things like that. And of course, that worked out very, very well right there with the selling of my Ethereum. Now I have to say I didn't sell into dollars. I sold into Bitcoin, but it was still a great exit. And right now we'll switch to some Ethereum analysis in a minute. But that worked out very, very well. So you guys asked me to look at the moving averages. It does tell us we're bearish. That's cool. My take is different tools were much better at doing that job. And when this is one of the issues with learning trading, is when you first start to learn how to trade, you're going to learn a lot of indicators that are actually not very useful. So volume is an example. Volume is good. Volume's okay. But it's not the most useful indicator. You're going to learn things like RSI. When do you guys ever hear me talking about RSI? Very rarely do I ever talk about the RSI right here. Super, super rare. But, you're going to learn these indicators and you're going to think that they're good. But actually, with experience and time, you're going to start to realize that actually different indicators are generally better for doing the same thing. And the sooner you realize that, the more pain you're going to be saving yourself. And I think that's quite underrated, because you don't want to be going through that pain in the market now when you could instead be making money where the market's actually fairly easy to trade compared to how it used to be. And it's going to get difficult again eventually, but right now it's fairly easy because there's so much new blood. Because we go back, rewind the live stream a little bit, remember about how I was talking about how this market is very delicate in terms of its psychology right now. So if you're aware of these kind of things, you're in a strong position. So VIP saw me selling my Ethereum. I sold it hours after this post before the whole big crash happened. I've also made money on the way down. I traded Ethereum on that same day as well, made a beautiful 35% profit. Sat in a 20% profit on Bitcoin, although I closed less than that on this position. But it was a very, very, it was a textbook trade, pounced on the market for a safe, clean profit. That's what I'm all about. We've got tutorials inside of VIP where I show you exactly how to pull this kind of stuff off in terms of how I'm doing that with trades that I've made in the past. I'm showing you actual tutorials of how I inputted those trades. So you can get up to speed with absolutely everything, and then we've even got our courses. So if you're completely new and you feel like you don't want to watch me trade, you want to learn how to trade first, you want to learn the buttons, you want to learn the concepts, the things that you need to know to be safe and things like that, we've also got those courses available for you. So the way you can get access to all the information on it, take a look at this, bam, 108%, 74%. I love these because these are people who are making money while the market is dropping. While the market is crashing, this person has doubled his money. Again, right here, doubled this person's money inside of one trade, just trading an easily predictable gap. Moving averages would not have told you this, just good analysis. And the thing is that the way I do this analysis, the way I'm presenting it to you, it's not super complicated. I'm not using a bunch of different indicators. I'm just using horizontal levels very well, very thoroughly. That's it. It's very rare that I'm getting more complicated than that. And it actually tends to produce quite good results. So I'm super happy with it. This guy obviously is as well, mentioning that it's been life-changing to say the least. And if you want to get in on that action, then these are the steps on screen to ask me how to join VIP. I see that you guys have already reached out, some of you, and you have already gotten your responses. So that's very cool. Click on the first link in the description down below. That's going to take you to our free 4 Flies Gold Telegram channel, where I'm going to be giving you more free analysis. So if you like this stuff, you're going to love the free analysis that comes on that Telegram channel, more insights into my trades, different things like that. And then 4 Flies Gold to ask me how to join. At the bottom of any post, click on the @4Flies button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP, and I'll send you all the information. I'll leave this on screen for just a minute, pause the live stream, follow these steps, come right back, and we're going to start going through your questions now. So let's see what we got. 4 Flies Academy is awesome, thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah, it is an absolutely phenomenal course. I'm loving that word phenomenal right now. It's a great course, made from the ground up. And one of my favorite things about the course is that it's not structured in the way of a normal trading course. It's, like a normal course would teach you everything with the basics first, then everything intermediate, then everything advanced, then everything expert level, like a pyramid. And what I'm doing with this course is I'm running you through concepts and theories from the ground all the way up, and then I'm starting from the ground with the next one. I'm running it all the way up. And it's taught in such a way where you don't learn how to trade until you learn how to trade safely. So, like, I'm not going to show you which buttons to press. I'm not going to show you, how to navigate exchanges and stuff like that until after you already know how to do those things safely in terms of psychology. So that is a very, very powerful way to be learning. And it, essentially one of the main objectives here is to, this guy's just been liquidated. I can't remember the last time I was liquidated. The objective here is to, cut your learning curve into as short of a time frame as possible, which is very important in this market because you don't want to be out of action for too long. You don't want to be unable to trade due to lack of knowledge. We're going to cut that down as much as possible so you can shorten that learning curve, learn it very quickly. It's possible to go through the whole course in one day. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible. And do it in such a way where even though it's accelerated, it's thorough. So you're going to be trading safely. You're going to be doing the right things. There's a lot that you're getting with this package. There's another free course that you get. Every single VIP member gets completely free of charge. So I see all your messages asking about VIP. My assistants are online right now, and they will respond to you. Let me start going through your questions, though. What do I think about the ABCD pattern? I haven't seen that. I'm sorry, maybe you can send me a chart on Telegram. I said longer the wait, the harder the fall. Doesn't it apply in the complete opposite direction? Absolutely, yes, it does. It does apply in the opposite direction. Let's see what other questions we have in the comments today. If you do have a question, then please make sure you tag me by writing my name. If you just write 4 flies in your comment, it's going to make sure that I can read it. Otherwise, I won't see it, most likely. Frank, you do the best objective analysis. Thank you very much. It is like it is. Even the Moon Boys have to accept this. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't want to accept it. And what I'm not here to be is popular. Like, I would be doing my job wrong if I was in agreement with most of you guys. That's very important, right? Like, I'm not trying to agree with the public. I'm not trying to agree with my YouTube subscribers. I love you all. Don't get me wrong. It's very cool. I appreciate you all for subscribing and liking the video. That's cool. Like, this content is great, but I'm not here to do that. Like, I'm here to present my analysis, which I've conducted, just looking at the charts, removing my emotions. And if it happens to piss a lot of people off, that's telling me that actually my opinions are not very popular. And if they're not popular, well, the popular people are the ones who tend to lose. I don't want to be popular. Guys, the amount of people that were so sure of this trend continuing up to infinity when I announced that I'd be selling my Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like, if I was popular, I wouldn't have sold my Ethereum on this drop here. If I was being popular, I wouldn't have sold it here. If I was agreeable, I wouldn't have sold my Ethereum here. Let's establish that one thing really fucking clearly right now. Like, you would not be the guy selling your crypto up here if you were agreeing with everybody. That's very important, right? So, being likable, agreeable, these are bad things as a trader. You don't want to be on the same page as everybody else. Like, this is one of those things where you need to be more independent. Very, very important. A lot of people miss that. That takes courage, it takes skill, it takes knowledge, it takes experience. Hopefully 4 Flies VIP can help you cut all of that up so that you can take shortcuts to get there. Because there's a hard way to learn these things, there's an easy way. People only want to hear what they want to hear, and that's completely fine. But if you're not one of them, you stand to make a lot more money than those who only listen to what they want to hear. Because a lot of people will come to trading and they will treat it as a pastime. Like I said, a lottery ticket. That's the word I use to dismiss the whole population of people who come in just kind of as a pastime, not as super serious traders. because you can't do this half-assed. You know, like trading does not take a lot of time. Don't get me wrong; it doesn't take a lot of time. It certainly takes brain power, though. I've never denied that. You know, like it's gonna take brain power, especially at the beginning. Afterwards, it gets a lot easier. You can do it, you know, just kind of here and there in daily life. I'm hosting a meetup in LA, by the way, today. I'm in Los Angeles right now. Many of you guys might know. So if you do want to join, you can message me on Instagram right here, SammyLoyal_1_. This is my Instagram name. I only have one Instagram page. This is it. It only has 22,000 followers. If it has more or less, it's a fake account. But you can follow me on this account and DM me, and I'll send you the details. But the point is, you know, like a lot of you guys who met me in real life, because I met up with a lot of you, will know that like when I meet with you, I'm not constantly checking my phone and stuff like that. Like trading is not actually that time consuming when you know what you're doing. But until you get there, it does take time. You know, it does take brain power. You know, and you've got to do it right. You know, you can't do this half-assed. If you do, you'll be the kind of person that's just going to fund my trading account. You know what I mean? Like it's very much, like I said, eat what you kill kind of mentality in this space. If you don't like that, you need to leave. You know, like I'm saving you from losing your money. You need to get out if you don't like that. You know, now most people won't heed those warnings, and that's why we've got a market where every exchange is giving you risk warnings. You know, so you're gonna lose 90% of your money. You're gonna be fucking surprised, but you had all the legal disclaimers before it even happened. You know, you guys know that I'm not your financial advisor. I'm never telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm telling you what I'm seeing, and that's it. This guy knows what he's talking about. He talks from a technical perspective. That's it. You know, like it's just what the technicals are. Nothing much beyond that. Very, very important, I think, to keep in mind. Forflies, talk a little about the market makers and how they are likely waiting until those waiting to buy in below 30,000. I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. Thoughts on the Wyckoff distribution chart? It looks exactly like the Bitcoin chart. Well, we've already had the Wyckoff distribution. That's done. That's why we dumped lower. Are you trying to say that we're in Wyckoff accumulation right now? Great TA, learned a lot. Thank you very much. My thoughts on Cardano. Let's take a look at Cardano. Actually, before we get there, let's look at Ethereum. My Ethereum analysis is pretty straightforward. Actually, I just watched Crypto Kirby's video, and he said the same thing. I've already said this too. It's in the same place as Bitcoin. It's in the same triangle. It's exactly as bearish as Bitcoin's one is right now. But the key difference is that above this level, above kind of $3,000, there's no resistance for Ethereum on the way up, right? I don't think that there's anything that's going to stop Ethereum from rising up. Ethereum on the way up did not find resistance, which means I don't think it'll find resistance on the way up again. It also did not find support on the way down. It did briefly get some small pumps, but these were not a big deal at all. These were not sustained. So there was no real resistance on the way up, no real support on the way back down. And that to me means that if we go back up, there's not going to be any resistance either. So if this thing does actually become bullish, my eyes will not be on Bitcoin, they will be on Ethereum. Because I think Ethereum has a lot more space to run. So, you know, I do trade alts as well. That's why you got, I mean, that's a 47% rise. That's beautiful. Imagine that on leverage. You know, I do trade alts as well. That's why you saw me, you know, pulling this Ethereum profit. I also have long-term Ethereum investments. So that's why I took profits on them, you know, before this whole crash even started. You know, alongside all the Bitcoin trades that I make as well, all inside of the Forflies VIP group. So once again, with these steps on screen, you can find yourself a place inside of VIP. And if you're not really sure, but you want to get a little bit more information, you can also request a phone call with a member of the team or even myself. I try to jump into them as much as I can, but I've been quite busy lately. But we do have somebody else who can talk to you, and we can figure out if you would be a good fit for Forflies VIP as well. So that's well worth asking for. All you need to do is ask for a phone call, and we'll get you set up with a call usually in the next 12 hours. Actually, we're pretty fast with everything now. You know, we did have some delays with messages and things like that, but we've always been pretty fast. You know, a delay for us is usually still much faster than any other company in my experience, so I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, that's Ethereum, and let's take a look at Cardano now. This is a good one. It's performing very, very well against Bitcoin. I'm very, very impressed, honestly. This is great. And against the dollar, which is the more important chart. Let's see how Cardano has been performing. So it's up to $1.77, and it's the same picture here. It doesn't really have any resistance. It's kind of it's got a mind of its own almost at the moment. I think if it rises above this level right here, where it's already found some resistance, it might actually rise above here. It's looking at new all-time highs. Honestly, I think if it can get above $1.80, it's probably going above $2.50. You know, because again, same as Ethereum, in my opinion, there's just no resistance here. There's just nothing that can stop Cardano from rising higher other than some sort of black swan resistance, you know, that you can't really predict. So that's a pretty big deal in my opinion. This looks great right now. This looks very, very bullish. Guys, if you're enjoying this live stream, by the way, please do smash up those likes. Only got 500 on the stream. I know we can do much better than that. Do smash up those likes. If you're finding this at all interesting, if you found it informative, if it's helped you with a perspective shift, if it's been funny, useful in any way, I really do appreciate you guys smashing up those likes. Let's get it over 1,000. Over 1,000 is easy right now. We can do that for sure. It's been an hour on this live stream, so we've been running a little bit. I'm not going to be ending it yet. I'm going to go through a lot more of your questions as much as I can today, but all of your likes and subscriptions are much appreciated. And of course, if you think that this content is going to be useful for you, then the only way you can guarantee that you're going to be able to keep on watching it on time, right when it's most hot, most useful, is by subscribing to this YouTube channel. So you can go ahead and do that. And if you want more free updates, you want reminders when these live streams are going up, different things like that, the first link in the description down below is going to take you to our free 4Flies Gold channel, which looks like this, where I'm going to be giving you more free TA, more insights into my trades, and information on our YouTube videos and live streams. So well worth checking out. But Cardano right now looks great. I think if it gets a rejection from here, it could find support at $1.30 again. That would be a pretty big drop, to be honest. It could also find support at about $1.57. It's not really, it looks good, but it's not something I would trade. This just doesn't scream confidence as a trader to me right now. So hopefully I helped you guys with some of those questions. Let me see what else we have here. What part of LA am I in? I'm in Marina Del Rey. But if I do a meetup, it's gonna be around like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills kind of area. So if you're interested in that meetup, it's on my Instagram page once again, which you can find here. You just gotta type this into Instagram, only _, my name. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. If you guys have any questions that I haven't gone through yet. According to the Elliott wave theory, we should have a medium pump of approximately 40 to 50k before the dump. What do you think? I don't really believe in Elliott wave theory. I don't really like Elliott wave theory. I don't think that it's super reliable, and I don't think that it's very reproducible either. So those are my thoughts on the Elliott wave theory. Thanks for the Cardano analysis. I agree with you 100%. It's looking very strong long term. Yeah, Cardano looks great from a technical perspective. It looks really good. Bitcoin dominance chart? I don't think that's quite important to look at. I don't really like looking at the dominance chart. What are my Ichimoku cloud settings? 20, 60, 120, 30 in that order. What's the best way to take profit into Bitcoin or USDT? I can't tell you that. I usually just go into Bitcoin. That's because I would grow my Bitcoin holdings while Bitcoin itself grows. It's a really powerful place to be, in my opinion. Flies, after parabolic trends, Bitcoin tends to have really sharp drops. Is this going to be one of them? We've already seen several of them, so yes. Or do I see this trend reversal as a correction or an enter to a prolonged bear market? I definitely don't think we're going into a prolonged bear market. I want to make that very clear. I've said this a lot, but apparently not enough. I definitely do not think that we're entering a prolonged bear market or anything like that at all. I just think that this thing right now is still in a delicate place. That's what I think. I think that right now we're still in a little bit of a delicate place. I don't think that we're in a long-term bear market or anything like that. And so actually what I'm looking at more realistically in this market is a deeper correction, perhaps with a little bit of time-based consolidation. So maybe it takes us like 2 months, maybe 3 months most to kind of recover. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if by month 4, month 5, we're back up at about 65,000. You know, and that puts us towards the end of the year. You know, if we're back up to the previous all-time high. And the thing is, you know, that might not sound very aggressive, but as soon as we get back up close to this all-time high, it's just going to be a rocket ship again. You know, usually that's usually how it happens. So even though it might take us some time to get back up to this level, as soon as we're back up here, it's going to accelerate really quickly. You know, that's usually what happens. You know, I'm not saying that's going to happen now, but that's usually what we see in these markets. So I hope that answers your question. Let's continue to go through these. I work in El Segundo. I don't know where that is, bro. I'm kind of new here. My favorite alt except Ethereum is Swissborg. Well, let's take a look at Swissborg. It's been a while. It's been a while. So it performed really badly. It fell all the way back to, well, to 0 really, but that looks like an error on the exchange, so I'm not going to pay attention to that. Now it is back up to its previous consolidation area right here, but it has resistance at 90 cents, so this is concerning. However, this is a coin that's driven much more by fundamentals, not technicals. So while on a technical perspective this looks really bad, from a fundamental perspective, which is really the only way this coin has ever pumped in my experience, it's still going to be pretty good. So I'm still holding my Swissborg tokens. I haven't sold anything else. Maybe I sold one more time after this, but I was pretty vocal with you guys about how I was buying down here and how I was selling up here. And since then, I haven't really done anything. And I'm still holding on to my Swissborg. I'm still expecting a recovery up to $1 and $1.50 eventually, potentially even a few dollars for sure. Especially if Bitcoin recovers, I think this would too. Yo, Fourflies, it's Rupert. Thank God you're back with that reality check analysis. You already know where to find it, bro. It's not going anywhere. Conference in Miami, will anything good come of this? I don't think so. There's conferences all the time, and this conference is, from what I've heard, mostly a shitcoin conference. So I'm not expecting anything super special from this one. Thank you, awesome content, by the way. You're very welcome. My views on Matic, I don't have any thoughts. Do I like EOS? No, I don't like any altcoins apart from Ethereum and Swissborg. Let's see what else we got here. Everybody is bullish but Fourflies. But why would you be bullish right now? That's the thing. Like, you don't get bullish at resistance zones, guys. Like, what's going on? Like, maybe they're bullish for likes and views, but you like as a real trader, everything up now seems like a breakout to the upside. You know, I mean, it could be. I'm not ruling that out. What I'm absolutely saying, though, is that even if we do get a breakout upwards, we're still going to be facing resistance. You know, like, this resistance is not going away. I've got this disgusting caffeine thing because I hate drinking Red Bulls and stuff. You guys are going to see me pull my wine face. This is the face I pull when I drink wine. Ah, fuck me, that's disgusting. Ah, I hate that. But it's really cool. It's like a liquid caffeine thing. I mean, most caffeine things are liquid, but it's really small. It's only 60 ml. Fourflies likes Cardano. Don't let him fool you. I do like Cardano. I think it's a good coin. I think it's got good potential, and I think it's great technically. So that's cool. How about XRP? I don't want to look at XRP. What do I think about miners buying up graphic cards? Nothing. I mean, it's just people rushing to fill a gap in the market. They're entrepreneurs, effectively. So, good luck. More power. I don't really have any opinion. That's a vodka face. Maybe it is. A lot of YouTubers I've seen have said don't miss the rise to 100k and things are looking bullish, but yet you show the most TA to justify your arguments, and I believe we will see bearishness after. You know, I still think we're going to $100,000. I just think that we're taking, as somebody else said recently, I think we're taking the scenic route. You know, I think we're gonna see some dips before we get there, and technically right now it's a pretty bad chart. You know, so while you might have your own external reasons for why Bitcoin is going to bounce up, right now, the main thing that I said at the beginning of this live stream is that because the market dropped massively and then we entered a sideways trading range, all of the resistance that's lagging, you know, so the best example of lagging resistance is the daily EMA ribbon. Everything the chart does, the EMA ribbon is just going to be a little bit delayed at showing you the same thing, right? So you can see that the chart is up here, EMA ribbon is down here. EMA ribbon is always going to be delayed. So it's basically showing you a shadow of where the market was. This acts as support on the way up. This was extremely reliable support. I was talking to you about this a lot. If you were subscribed to the channel, you would have seen that. Shout out to those of you who were subscribed. Shout out to those of you who already hit the like button. I was talking to you about this a lot, how it effectively acts as a shadow of the market, and every time we fall into it, we typically find support when we're in a healthy bull market. It's the same thing as resistance, right? So when this shadow has a chance to catch up to the trend effectively, which is when the trend usually just trades sideways after dropping, this thing is going to keep on falling. This shadow is going to keep on catching up to the trend, and then eventually we're going to start getting some resistance overhead from it. You know, so that's what we're seeing with every indicator right now. There's very few indicators that are not showing the same thing right now. Very few. And of course it depends on the time frames and things like that, but very, very few. You know, so that's important to keep in mind. Very, very important. Why don't I like wine? Probably because I'm young. I'm not sure. Did I take Miami meeting in account? What do you mean? I don't understand. Miami is the first city fully integrating crypto. I would guess that it's actually Malta or even Dubai, more than Miami. What coin can I mine with a PC? I have no idea about Bitcoin mining. I'm sorry. What's the lowest Bitcoin will go? 16k? 50, yeah, 16k or 20. You know, so it's possible if Bitcoin drops all the way down close to 20 that it can drop below 20. There's some good arguments to suggest that we might go down there. But anything we do below 20, I think would be very short-lived. Like, literally, I wouldn't... Like, if we go below 20, I would be surprised if we're below 20,000 for more than, like, 2 minutes. You know, and I think we're going to go right back up. Maybe a few hours, maybe even a day. But definitely not longer than a day. You know, I don't think that we're going to be below 20,000 for a long time. And if we fall below 20,000, 18k could act as support, 16k could, 14k, you know, but it's going to be extremely irrational market behavior if we fall down that low. That's very important to keep in mind, ladies and gents. Like, if we fall down below 20, we're going to be looking at very, very irrational market behavior. And you can't really analyze that if we fall below 20. And the reason I think that we would be looking at very irrational market behavior is because we will be at a point where a lot of people will be capitulating and fearful, and a lot of other people will be rushing to buy, and it's going to be a whole mess. It's going to be a really, really big mess at that point in this market if we fall below 20k. So, you know, while we might be excited talking about it now, I would certainly look to buy Bitcoin at 20k. Below 20k, I would most likely not be buying anything. Even though I think it's super bullish, I just don't like getting involved where the whole crowd is stampeding towards something. I just don't like being in the game at those points. If the 38k resistance on Bitcoin will break, what will happen in my opinion? Well, we're going to go up and find new resistance. We're going to find more resistance in my opinion. That's what's going to happen. You know, we've got more at, you know, 39,000. We've got a lot of resistance this whole length of the cloud. You know, we've got daily EMA resistance. Right, there's a lot of resistance here. Look at this. We've got some Fibonacci resistance, but I'm going to remove this Fibonacci retracement because this looks confusing. You know, there's a lot of resistance that we can find right here on the daily chart. There's some EMA resistance that's, you know, in this range. We might start seeing some EMA resistance stretching from 40,500 all the way up to, you know, 42, and then beyond up to 47. You know, every day that this goes on, this resistance is going to get lower. So, you know, I think if we break 38, we're just looking at finding more resistance at a higher level. But we would certainly, I think if we break 38, we would. This is such a classic bull flag. My God, this is a very, very classic bull flag right now. You know, so I think there's a strong indication that it is going to take another leg up. But it's only going to find more resistance the way I see it. I can't see anything else happening. Flies, a lot of respect, man. Just ignore the negatives. You and Lark are the only two I regularly watch. Haven't heard of Lark. Actually, I have. Haven't seen him. But that's cool. He's 19. I believe that's what he said. Yes, I am 19. It's in my Instagram bio. Right here, I say I'm 19. I dropped out of school. I'm one of those kids. And, if you guys want to know more about me, you can type in my name and then entrepreneur or Yahoo. I was featured in these publications, so you can find a little bit of my story. I've also got this one right here. A lot of people want to know my my story of how I got to where I am. This one is actually more of a story of how I got my cars, because I'm a really big car guy. I'm only like, the one thing I really live for other than family and all the other stuff is cars. And what do you expect? I'm a young guy. But a lot of people want to know my story. You'll find it if you type in... I'm wondering if I can pull it up right now, actually. Because this is pretty cool. Let me see if it shows up. People have been searching up my net worth. That's crazy. I didn't expect that. Here we go, right here. If you type in Sammy Loyal Entrepreneur, there is... I haven't even seen this stuff, but there's a lot. Here we go. Oh, this is a terrible picture they took of me. This is like a little this is a little piece I wrote for them. But yeah, you can Google it. Pretty cool stuff. Mustang or Lamborghini? It's not even close, bro. They're both shit, but not even close. If we drop into 20k and pump immediately to 45 or 50 in an hour, does it count as a blow off top? Yes, that would count as a blow off top. So what Catherine is asking is if Bitcoin... First of all, that's not going to happen. I mean, that's super... It's possible. Anything's possible, but that's super unlikely. Catherine is asking, would it be a blow off top if we did this? If we fell down here and then within 1 hour went up here and then came back down, would it be a blow off top? Yes, it would, but I don't think that Bitcoin would be able to double inside of an hour. I don't think that's ever happened. You know, like, things happen quickly, but not that quickly. Not that quickly. That would be pretty crazy. Although in any case, I don't think we're gonna get a blow off top. I think if we go down that low, that's gonna be the best market reset we could ever get. And it's just gonna shoot up to, you know, eventually, not straight away, but eventually I think it'd shoot up to $100,000. Do I think a time-based correction on Bitcoin is more likely at this point? No. I think a price-based correction is more likely, purely because of the psychology of the people in this market right now. It's very fragile. And when it's fragile, you're more likely... You know, these are not people who have given up and they're just going on to other things in life. These are people who are fucking terrified. These are people who are terrified. You know, and when that happens, you're getting people who can sell off. So while you can either correct with time by trading sideways, or with price by trading down, or in this case, trading up or whatever, I think we're getting a price-based correction this time. You know, sometimes I'd say we're getting a time-based correction. I thought this up here was a time-based correction, and actually we were going to continue up. Obviously, that didn't happen, you know? So sometimes they're time-based, sometimes they're price-based corrections. I think this one's going to be more price-leaning, just because of the intense emotions in this market, the intense emotions of people in this market. I see it in my own comment sections, and we have on this channel a much more focused viewership, and I still see it on this channel, you know? So I don't even want to imagine what's happening on the Moonboy channels when we're getting these kind of dumps. You know, like it's pretty bad. So I think we are in for another price-based. I think we're in for a time where, you know, a bad situation of pain is going to get a lot worse temporarily, and then we're going to go back up. You know, we've seen that a lot. We've seen that a lot. I've shown you quite a few times this key example from 2017. Let me highlight it to you again right now, ladies and gents. Where Bitcoin topped out at $3,000. This was the first and only time in my life that I ever panic sold Bitcoin. It was the last time, because I felt like such an idiot. We topped out at 3,000. We established a sideways trading range, and we figured, actually, okay, this is just one whole big bullish symmetrical triangle. That's what it looked like at the time, right? Let me replay this even further back to probably this point. And, you know, there is no other interpretation you could really make at this point. Like, this was a very, very clear, beautiful, very, very healthy symmetrical triangle. Bam, look at that. Very healthy, indicating that actually we're going to continue trading on upwards. This happens after a big rally up. We got a big correction down, crashed by quite a bit at first, but in a very short space of time, takes us about 3.5 days. We're down by 30%. That's a big dump. That's similar to what we saw recently. And so we enter a bull flag, which is typically considered to be a very, very bullish pattern, and then it collapses, and we fall through the floor, and it gets much worse. Take a look at this. This is where panic really starts to set in. Actually, you know, it turns out that we're not pumping up. We're starting to get some doubt settling back into the market, and then the final blow, the death blow, was this crash. Take a look at that. Bam. This is what really, really scares people. This final crash. And it's very short-lived, and the market continues rising up with a beautiful V-shaped correction, and we've never fallen back down to those levels ever again since that time. So we've seen that before. Obviously, you know, the rest is history, but I'll play it forward. We've seen that before. I absolutely think that we could be looking at something similar right now. 100%. Where a bad situation gets worse, that's the final death blow for a lot of people, then give it a little bit of time, and this thing recovers back up. Bitcoin does that a lot. That's very common for Bitcoin. It wouldn't be surprising if it happened now, because the market is quite heavily manipulated. And there's no regulation stopping you from manipulating it too. What coins would I snog, marry, and avoid? I'd marry Bitcoin, snog Swissborg, and Ethereum, and avoid everything else. That's a hilarious question. I'm thinking of getting into day trading. What is a good starting budget? Day trading is a terrible idea, in my opinion. Fucking hell, that is so bad. Do I think your course will turn me into a beast? I know it'll turn you into a beast. Not financial advice. The course is great. Google has announced that they're rethinking their crypto ads policy. What effect do I think this will happen? That this will have on the price? You know, this is not something that I think directly will impact Bitcoin very much. But broadly speaking, it's one of the other things that will just look. Bitcoin didn't rally to 60K by accident. There were a lot of things that happened at the beginning that set a good fundamental basis for Bitcoin to pump up, and then fear of missing out is what actually took it up. So there was a lot of pieces in place at first that kind of paved the way for Bitcoin to go up, and the thing that took it that high to 65K was fear of missing out, was excitement, was exuberance. So this is one of those things. You know, we look at headlines like this, and a lot of people who are new to the game get very excited by them. These headlines themselves are not a big deal. But what they do is they raise the baseline for Bitcoin. You know, they raise the bottom line for how good Bitcoin is. They raise that, and then fear of missing out is what really takes us up. Psychology is what really takes us up. That's important to keep in mind, in my opinion. Very, very important. So hopefully that, you know, the news itself is not important. It's the fact that it's strengthening Bitcoin overall. It's strengthening crypto. We can have crypto ads. You know, they're reconsidering it. Elon Musk is reconsidering his Bitcoin thing. You know, these are good things for the long-term health of crypto, but short-term, they're not really going to impact the price. You're not going to notice it. You're not going to base it back to this Google thing. You know, unless it's Elon Musk where it's very obvious market manipulation, which it's not in Google's case, you're not going to be able to trace it back to this. But it's giving you the platform to then rise significantly higher in the future. Guys, by the way, if you're looking for a place to trade, Bybit is the place to be. You already know. There's a link in the description down below for you to sign up to it and gain a trading bonus. You're going to get some free cash deposited into your account. Depending on how much you deposit, you're going to get some extra free cash which you can trade with. You can do whatever you like with it. And there's also a tutorial down there as well. So this is my favorite exchange. I've been with them for years. Love them. I'm in the US, so I am using a VPN every time I use it. And that's completely fine with me. I've never heard of anyone else having an issue. Yeah, but that is that's my exchange of choice. Just seen a very funny comment here. Imagine betting all your money on a 19-year-old's opinion. You know, nobody should be trading based off what I'm saying because I'm not a financial advisor. So yeah, that would be crazy to bet your money on anything, on anyone, and especially to bet all of it. And I'm never really trying to look like an expert in front of you guys. I'm just presenting what I'm thinking. So if you vibe with it, if you like it, that's cool. If not, that's completely fine too. You know, it's not really it's down to you guys. It doesn't really matter too much. What do I think of the stochastic RSI? I don't like it. Forflies is loving the volatility. Everyone is stressing, and he'll be like, oh, time to get the money. Absolutely, man. I mean, look, when it's volatile, people are stressing. People are not in positions that they wanted to be in. People are in positions that they shouldn't have been in. And meanwhile, if you just have a calm, calculated approach to the market, you're going to trade less than the other people, right? Look at this. This is a common testimonial that we get inside of VIP. You're going to trade less. What is this? I haven't been trading nearly, look at this, haven't been trading nearly as much and have been seeing my account slowly grow. You're going to be trading less than other people, but you're going to be pulling better profits. You know, this is what happens during times of volatility. You know, like, the people with skill get separated from the people without skill. It's like a centrifuge. If you know how a centrifuge works with blood, you're going to put all the blood in the machine, it's going to spin everything up. Plasma goes to the top or bottom, red blood cells, whatever, it's all separated. You can see the bullshit from the reality when it's volatile. You know, so if you have a calm, collected approach, you are going to be trading less than you used to, but you're going to be booking more consistent profits, hopefully, if you do it well, and those profits will be larger, as is evident by so many of our VIP members. We've got nearly 1,300 now. Yes, 3 members away from hitting 1,300. It's been blowing up because you guys have been seeing this beautiful, massive opportunity in this market. Another member right here ended up closing, you know, doubling his money on these drops. You know, still learning a lot. There's a lot of content to go through inside of VIP. We give you a lot. And you don't have to go through it all, but it's there for you if you want. And it's made in as concise of a way as possible where we're not going to be wasting your time. It's like these live streams. It's like these videos without the ads. Without me shilling Bybit, without me shilling VIP, that's what you get. So, you know, it's just value. And of course, it's working out quite well for a lot of our members. So once again, the steps to join are on screen. Has market manipulation ever gotten me out of a trade early? Absolutely, or liquidated? Probably, but I don't remember about liquidations. For example, like the Elon pump and dump. I'm pretty sure I lost money on that Elon move. I can't remember. I must have lost money. I don't remember, though. I don't remember. But either I lost money on the first Elon pump and dump, or I just got very confused. One of those two things happened, but it wasn't good. So absolutely, we're all subject to that, and that's why we exercise risk management. That's why, even though we can be very, very sure of things, we still use a stop loss, we still don't overtrade, we still carefully consider if it was a good trade in the first place, and all those other myriad of very, very important things that we can do as a trader. They're non-negotiable. You know, we have a couple VIP members that are pilots and stuff like that. Actually, quite a few VIP members are pilots, surprisingly. And you know, what they tend to, you know, this analogy hits home really hard, and it's I actually give you this exact analogy inside of the Trade Insane course, which comes free with every VIP subscription. You can also find it linked in the description, by the way. If you want to buy it yourself, it's on a system where you can pay whatever you think it's worth. So it's in the is it in the description? It should be. You can pay whatever you think it's worth, starting at $37. So, you know, some people have paid like 100, 200, whatever. Others have just paid 37. Most people just paid 37, and that's completely fine too. Whatever you think it's worth. But all VIP members get that free of charge, and that is worth way more than 37. I can tell you that right now. And one of the analogies I give in there is that of a pilot, where you know, as a pilot, you always do your pre-flight safety checks without any compromises every single time, regardless of how you feel. That's because it's your job, and you will never, ever, ever, ever compromise on it. Anyone who's a pilot, or anyone who operates any sort of heavy machinery, any serious machinery, will know this. You are never you are never how do I say, compromising on your safety checks. You know, you should do this when you're driving a car. You're about to go on a long road trip. You're gonna check your tire pressure. You're gonna check your oil level. You know, whatever. You're gonna check your brakes. So these are checks that you can't avoid, and as a trader, they're extremely important too. You know, and I think a lot of people miss that. You know, like the difference between someone who does it and someone who doesn't is the difference between someone who pulls these profits consistently, not just like a one-trick wonder, consistently, and the person who gets mad that he just watched himself lose 50% or more during this crash, and he didn't do anything about it. That's the difference. So while I am asking you to put a little bit more effort into it, your reward significantly outweighs the effort that you're putting in. That's the thing with trading, right? This is the good thing with trading. A lot of the issues that people have as a trader, they require overnight fixes, right? You can actually fix them overnight. I'm an aggressive trader. Okay, don't trade too much. Overnight fix. You know what I mean? Like, I trade with too much money. Okay, now have a hard limit. You're not allowed. You physically cannot trade with more than X. Done. Overnight fix. A lot of these things are overnight fixes. You know, but you need to see it done in front of you in order to really believe it and really follow through with it. That's one of the biggest benefits of being inside of VIP. You get to see it done in front of you. No compromises every single time. That has been very, very helpful. So, yeah, good to keep in mind. I get very passionate about this stuff because this is the thing, like, a lot of people can fix their trading and become significantly better traders just off small improvements, just off small tweaks. Most people don't have serious trading problems. Most people are not good traders, but to become good traders, it's not going to take a lot. You know, like, it's going to be difficult for sure, but, you know, like, you can be done with that stuff a week from now, for example. Right here, Rupert knows. Rupert is bang on. The real traders need the mindset of a cold-blooded assassin. No room for snowflakes in this game. What's he saying? Hang on, let me find this comment. It's gone now. I love this comment. This is a great comment. What is this person saying? I've lost the comment, Rupert. I'm very sorry. Let's see what other questions we have. What are the biggest signs I'm looking for to buy back into the market? I've already answered this one, so I don't want to repeat it for people who already have listened. But for the most part, just reclaiming resistance levels as support would be the biggest one. What's the difference between day trading and an exchange? Day trading is a style of trading. An exchange is where you trade. So they're completely separate. It's like asking me what's the difference between a pair of socks and a t-shirt. You know, they're just completely different things. In fact, it's more like asking me what's the difference between a pair of socks and a box. You know, like they're not even in similar fields. Like day trading is a style of trading, and exchange is where you trade. So like the exchange I'm using, for example, is Bybit. You guys already know, linked in the description, all that stuff. The style of trading, you can do anything. Long-term swing trading, day trading, you can do anything you like on Bybit. You're not restricted. By the way, if you're completely new to this stuff, you should really go on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and just click on my profile picture. By the way, thank you all for 95,000. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go to my videos. Oh shit, we hit 96. Perfect. Go to my videos and find this one down here. Posted a month ago, 31,000 views. How to turn 1,000 into 1 million. This is a trading guide for beginners. So go back and watch this video if you're new. I'm sorry, you probably couldn't see that. Go back and watch this video if you're new. This video is made for you. It's a 50-minute video. It's going to give you everything you need to start trading if you've never ever seen this stuff before. This is a great video to watch for beginners. The feedback has been amazing on this video. Take a look. I mean, people have loved it. There's a lot of scammers in the comments, but I mean, look, I get a lot of dislikes usually because I'm giving very unpopular opinions. This video has great feedback, even though I have a lot of haters. That's crazy, right? Like that shows you a lot, like for beginners, how useful this video is. So please go and watch it. If you think that could be useful for you, you can just pause the stream now because we're finished with most of the analysis, and you can go straight to this one. Well, let's see what else we have here. When I get into your course, can I make $1,000 into over 100,000? I don't know. It's not going to be easy, but anything is possible. You can also lose money. What's so great about Swissborg? That's a whole big video. I should actually make a dedicated video just to Swissborg, because that's a big topic. I don't want to talk about it now. What is a good percentage to gain in one trade that you can make consistently? 20%. 20% is fucking easy. 20% is easy. Guys, the last live stream, I demonstrated to you how easy it is to make a 20% profit, how consistently you can do it, and how powerful it would be. 20%. 20% is piss easy. You can pull 20, you know, come on. You can pull 20%. Look at this. Right here. Look. If I'm putting in, I know you can't see this, hang on. Right, look at this. If I've got $1,000, I've made a 20% profit, it's turned into $1,200. If I've made that profit 3 times in a row, my $1,000 has nearly turned into $2,000. Look at that. If I do it another 3 times in a row, my $1,000 has turned into $3,000. After 6 20% profits in a row, 20%. That's not difficult. 20% after 6 20% profits in a row, I've tripled my money. Now, obviously, realistically, you're not going to hit 6 out of 6 trades that each make 20% profit. But the point is, these are realistic numbers. And to demonstrate to you how easy it is to hit 20%, you know, I'm a leverage trader, so 20% is not super hard to get. You know, it would be basically, I'll show you an easy example right now, right? Bitcoin is at resistance. I'm not saying I'm taking this trade. VIP members know absolutely every trade I'm taking. Shout out to you guys because you know exactly what I am doing in this market. But if you were to go short right here at 38,000, because it's an obvious area to go short, it's resistance. You are operating on 10 times leverage. For example, a 2% drop, that would be from 38,000 down to 37,300. That's like an $800 drop. With an $800 drop, which is, that's a fluctuation, right? That's nothing. On 10 times leverage, you've made 20% profit, right? If you were to do this a little bit more conservatively, 5 times leverage to hit a 20% gain, the market would have to drop down to 36,500, which is about $1,500 lower than where it is right now. You know, so again, it's not asking, minus 4% multiplied by 5 times leverage is a 20% profit. Like, it's not super difficult to do that. If you went long off this support level, again, a fairly obvious long because it's a support area. You know, 10 times leverage, you would need to enter at 33, exit at 33.9, and you've made your 20% on 10 times leverage. You know, so it's just to show you that while it's not this easy in practice, obviously, if it was this easy, everybody would do it. But while it's not this easy in practice, if you're aiming for things that are much more manageable, like a 20% profit, This is huge. Apply this to your own $10,000. Look, it's going to turn into 30K. You know, you're trading with 6 figures. Okay, now you've got $300,000 after 6 of these. You know, so again, you're not going to hit them 6 out of 6 times, and they're not all going to be 20%, and you are going to have big losers and small losers and big winners too. But the point is, when you aim for more manageable things, and then you pull gains like these VIP members have seen, you know, kind of off the cuff, you know, when the market really isn't a big tidal shift, then you're in a great place. That's what a lot of VIP members are at. That's where I am too. I'm aiming for these smaller 20%, 30% gains, which I can compound, because that's the power. The power is in compounding, but the big profits come occasionally too. So, you know, I'm no stranger to pulling a triple-digit profit as well. VIP members have seen me pulling triple-digit profits on the way up. In the previous bear market, pulling triple-digit profits on the way down, you know, where I'd be doubling my money in one trade, different things like that, or doubling part of my position, because usually by that point I've taken a lot of profits, so I don't have my whole position running, but I still have some of it, you know. So that's I think the most realistic outlook, you know, where you're aiming for these smaller, consistent, reproducible gains, but there are times where the market has really opened up a big gap, and in those big gaps you can pull these 100%, 74%, 96% trades. You can pull them in those gaps. VIP members have. You already know, steps are on screen if you want to get in on that. But hopefully, yeah, that hopefully answers your questions about manageable, you know, like as a trader, a manageable thing to aim for sure. For Flies, please make videos more frequently as the situation is very critical. You didn't come live on Sunday and Monday. You're awesome. Yeah, a little bit hit and miss, but I'm always doing them as much as I can. So I'll do it, yeah, as much as I can. Don't worry about that. Right, guys, I'm going to be calling it a night here, a day even. Thank you all for tuning in. We do appreciate you all. We will have a moderator moving forward, probably for the next live stream. So that'll make my job a little bit easier. 20% profit is not so easy right now unless you take high leverage. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, it's not like right now. It's not actually that easy because you would have to take high leverage. But you also shouldn't be trading. You know, when. Okay, so here's another thing. I gotta say this before we end this live stream. Look, we're in between. Okay, I should have said this before, to be honest, but I just keep forgetting because to me this is super obvious. But I need to. I need to remember, because like I learned this stuff like 3 years ago, right? So, you know, like to me this is obvious now, but obviously I know it's not to most other people because you haven't learned this yet. But you know, we do have a situation here in this market where we're basically trading between two very important levels, 30,000 and 42,000. Crypto Kirby was saying this, and in the middle of this, we formed a symmetrical triangle, which is typically a continuation pattern that can take us lower. It can also be a reversal pattern, but not all the time. In fact, usually it does break down, especially in markets like this. But we're trading in the middle of this range, and when we're trading in the middle of these two kind of levels, everything that happens in between is usually designed by bots and manipulators to fleece money from people like you and me. Which is to say that everything that happens in this range between two very important levels is typically controlled and manipulated by bots in such a way to make you, the common trader, the average person, lose money, and then it triggers the big move up or down. That's what these ranges are for. That's what these triangles are for. That's why I don't really trade in them. You don't see me trading them much. I do a little bit. It works out from time to time. I gotta pick my risk carefully. I traded this drop, I think it was this drop. Made some nice profits on it. You know, the rest of it was stopped out at break even. That's completely fine. But you know, for the most part, these patterns are made for you to lose money. Like you're fighting against bots. That's why day trading is a bad idea, in my opinion. So I should have said this earlier, but really I just I kind of forget what what you guys know or don't know sometimes. That's why I don't like talking about basics too much. Most streams, yes, absolutely. We'll do more live streams every time the market moves a little bit. Interestingly, we always do a live stream. If we break up in a triangle, when would it likely to happen? I think if we're going to break up from this triangle, we would do it maybe even today, like in the next 12 hours. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And I think that, yeah, we could you know, rise up to 39, 40,000 for sure with those kind of things. What if my leverage trade goes south? Well, if a leverage trade goes south, you're going to lose a lot of money, and that's why, you know, you're going to exercise risk management and different things like that. That's an amazing piece of insight for a newbie. I'm very glad that that's helped you. I'm very glad that that's helped you. That's important to know. Yeah. You know, like, I wouldn't be touching this trading range too much. I'm not. So, yeah. Alright guys, well, thank you very much for tuning in. Please do smash up those likes one last time if you've been enjoying this live stream so far. I'm going to call it a day now. If you have enjoyed this live stream but you're not subscribed, then go ahead and do that. If you're looking for an exchange, Bybit is the place to be. This is the exchange I'm using. It's linked in the description. And I am using a VPN because I'm in the United States. It's necessary. I've never heard of an issue with it. I can't endorse that. If you would like to join 4Fly's VIP, see how I'm trading, and watch me trading in real time, get all the insights behind how that process works, plus a whole lot more. We got tutorials, courses that you get for free with VIP, different things like that. Then follow the first link in the description down below. Then click on the @4Flies button at the bottom of any post inside of our free 4Flies Gold channel, where you're going to get more free analysis. And then click on send message to ask me how to join. It will send you all the information. 4Flies I liked and stuff. I'm going to watch the 50-minute video now. Go ahead, yeah. If you're new and you don't want to go through these steps yet, you're not sure if you want to commit, then this is the best video for you. Go find this video on the videos section of my YouTube channel. You're going to find it very, very useful. Right here, this one here. This one is a course, is a video basically showing you how to start trading from beginner steps. It's a great video. All right, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next live stream. Bye bye.